there are way more species than most people think. Trash can genus. Just take a look at both side by side. Hello creature lovers and welcome to the universe. I'm sure you like Cubaris just as much as we do. Those tiny mysterious little tanks that somehow manage to be both cute and creepy at the same time. When people start keeping isopods, they usually fall in love with Cubaris. And it's easy to see why. Their shapes, colors and behaviors make them one of the most fascinating groups in the invertebrate world. Let's start with 5 popular Cubaris species that are perfect for beginners and hobbyists alike. There's the classic Cubaris Panda King with its black and white armor. Then Cubaris Ducky, probably the most famous of them all, with that adorable yellow face. Cubaris Jupiter brings a unique pattern and deep color tones, while Cubaris Amber glows warm orange shades. And finally, Cubaris Papaya, soft, bright, and easy to love. But here's the twist that most people don't know. None of these popular names actually tell us which real Cubaris species they are. They are all labeled with Spetz or SP because scientifically we don't know their true identity. The only one we can confirm the name is Cubaris murina, the plain gray species that started it all. So even though we call them by fancy names, the truth is we're still figuring out who they really are. When you start looking into Cubaris, you quickly realize there are way more species than most people think. Dozens of them. Actually, scientists have described a long list of Cubaris species from all over the world. From Southeast Asia to South America, from tropical forests to caves hidden deep underground. I'll let the full list roll on screen for you to see. Take a moment and look at it carefully. It's impressive how many officially described Cubaris species already exist. And yet, even with all those names, we still face a big mystery in the hobby. Because while we know Cubaris murina is real and described, most of the popular ones like Ducky or Panda King don't actually match any of these scientific names, or nobody ever explored if they are matching. I was digging through all this research online and keep running into one phrase over and over again, and that's called trash can genus. What does trash can genus even mean? Well, in taxonomy, it's not actually a compliment. When scientists call a group trash can genus, they mean that over time it became a sort of dumping ground for species that didn't quite fit anywhere else. That's exactly what happened with Cubaris. Whenever researchers found a new isopod that looked kind of similar or not, but didn't find the known genera, they just threw it into Cubaris. But here's the problem. Those species often had nothing in common beyond a few superficial features. As a result, Cubaris became a taxonomic mess. Some of the species in the genus might not even belong there at all. And to make things even more confusing, many of the isopods we keep in the hobby, like, again, rubber duckies or panda kings, don't actually match any of these described species. So the name Cubaris in the hobby world doesn't really mean one clear defining thing. It's more like an umbrella, a convenient label we use until science catches up and tells us what these creatures truly are. I didn't have to search for long to understand what that term really meant. While looking for images of the species from the official list, I searched for a few familiar names I already knew or heard, and quickly stumbled upon Cubaris caerulea. On iNaturalist, where I took the screenshots, I noticed something interesting. Cubaris caerulea, which by the way is now called Ardentiella caerulea, this change was officially proposed earlier this year. So that's normal in taxonomy. Names evolve as scientists discover more about how species are related. But here's what really made me stop and think. Cubaris murina, the type species of the entire Cubaris genus, was described back in 1833. So how could someone almost 80 years later, in 1914, describe Ardentiella caerulea under the same genus, Cubaris, when it looks completely different? Just take a look at both side by side. Does that really look like the same kind of isopod? So putting caerulea into Cubaris only makes sense if you have no idea where else to put it. And that's exactly what confirms the whole trash can genus problem. For decades, Cubaris became the place where any confusing isopod ended up. Not because it truly belonged there, but because no one knew what else to call it or to put it, to do with it. And that's the whole problem with the Cubaris species. But what does that mean for us as keepers and breeders? It means we need to take our part seriously, because what we record and label today might help science tomorrow. First, always label your boxes correctly. If possible, use the full scientific name, or at least note Cubaris spats, followed by the hobby name. Second, whenever a new color morph appears in your colonies, write it down. Write down exactly which color it appeared from. Why? It's the only way we can track the origin of variations later to label them right with their species name. And third, make those records public. Keeper logs, photos, breeding notes, everything can help one day scientists assign the right names when species get formally described. We might not be taxonomists, but we are the ones keeping these species alive, spreading them and learning from them every single day. And that makes us part of the discovery process. Even if our lab is just a shelf full of isopod boxes, we might not be scientists, but as keepers, we're part of the story too. Follow us for more invertebrate insights, and let's keep learning together. Thanks for watching, have a great week, and see you in the universe. Bye bye.